It says, in the days of Amraphel, king of Shinar, Arioch, king of Elasar, Kedar-Laomer, king of Elam, and Tidal, king of Goyim. These names, by the way, Shinar, of course, is Sumer. Amraphel, we can't quite place that person, but Arioch is a name that appears in the cuneiform tablets. Kedar-Laomer appears in the cuneiform tablets as the king of Elam. Tidal appears in the cuneiform tablets, and he is called king of the Uman Manda. Uman Manda means the tribes, or the marauding tribes, you could say. And here he is called the king of nations. It's an approximate translation of the Uman Manda, the nations. Well, what were these four kings doing, and where are they from? They're from the they're from the area of the Tigris-Euphrates Valley. What happened to the Tigris-Euphrates Valley at this time? Well, the Babylonian Empire had been overthrown by the Kushite invasion of 1550 BC. Just as the Hyksos were driven out of Egypt in 1550, the Kushites invaded Babylonia in 1550 and destroyed the empire, and independent kingdoms arose. And here are also kings who said, you know, there's a lot of confusion in the land of Canaan. Let's go. Let's raid the place. And let's see what they did. Let's see. So these four made war against Bera, king of Sodom, Birsha, king of Amorah, Shinov, king of Admah, Shemever, king of Tzvayim, and Bela, king of Tzoar. So you have these five kings who are in the valley of the Jordan, Dead Sea region, and they're being attacked by these four who are coming from the Tigris-Euphrates Valley. Now, it says in verse 3, all of these gathered together in the valley of the lime pits, which is the shores of the Dead Sea. And it says, for 12 years they served Kedar-Laomer. That is, Kedar-Laomer had evidently come there and hit them and defeated them and said, okay, from now on, you better send me tribute. So it says, for 12 years they served Kedar-Laomer. In the 13th year, they stopped sending tribute, which means no more. They rebelled. So in the 14th year, Kedar-Laomer and his allies, he got these other three guys together, they came, and listen to what they did. They struck the Rephaim in a place called Ashterot Karnaim, and we can follow it. It's all along the eastern shore, not the shores, but the east of the Jordan, which means in the hill country, east of the Jordan, because the Jordan is in a very deep valley, in the Rift Valley, and especially the Dead Sea is very deep, 1,300 feet below sea level, and the mountains rise on both sides. So they are going on the plateau east of the Jordan, and they hit the Rephaim in Ashterot Karnaim. They hit the Zuzim in a place called Ham, the Amim in Shavei Kiryatayim, the Horites in the land, in the mountain of Seir, until El Paran, which is at the edge of the desert. Then they continue. Now they are down south of the Dead Sea, and now they start going north. And they returned, and they come to Ein Mishpat, which is Kadesh, and they struck the entire field of the Amalekites, and also the Amorites, who are living in Hatzason Tamar. I mean, all of these names, you know, may not make sense to you, but just follow this. They go down south of the Dead Sea, then come up, and what are they doing? They're striking these places, robbing, taking people, taking slaves, taking wealth, and just keep on going. It's a quick raid. It's a, in Arabic they have this term, razia. That's when a tribe goes and just, they make a raid and grab whatever they could. And this looks like a raid. 5 kings of the valley, they have to defend themselves. So the king of Sodom and the king of Amorah, the king of Admah, the king of Tzvayim, and the king of Tzoar, whose name is Bela, they came out and they arrayed their army to fight them in this valley of the lime pits. Against whom? Against the invaders. Kedar-Laomer, king of Elam, Tidal, king of Goyim, Amraphel, king of Shinar, Arioch, king of Elasar. The 4 kings against the 5. So what do you have here? 4 kings against 5, and they are essentially, we could call kinglets or heads of tribes. They come from small places, but they have these noble names, and they're coming in on a raid But the valley of the lime pits was also filled with pits of asphalt or tar. Evidently in summer it really gets soft. And so the invading kings struck the kings of the area, and they were defeated. And the rest fled into the mountains. But the invaders robbed them all, and they took all the wealth of Sodom and Gomorrah and all of their food, and they went. Where'd they go? They went back home. Now they're loaded up and they're going. And they took also captives, including Lot, who was Abraham's nephew, and his wealth, and they went. And he dwelt in Sodom. So a fugitive who escaped from this holding ran up to Hebron, or the vicinity of Hebron, and he told Abraham the Ivri, Abraham the Hebrew, and notice the term Abraham the Hebrew is mentioned in this specifically. And he was dwelling in the place called the Oaks of Mamre, the Oaks of Mamre the Amorite, the brother of Eshcol and the brother of Aner. And then something very interesting. These three, Eshcol, Mamre, and Aner, are Amorites, and they're all allied with Abraham. Well, here you have an interesting picture. The Hebrew and the Amorite have made an alliance. Why did they make an alliance? Self-defense. They're living in a country where there is anarchy, where there is no government, and everyone is fighting everyone else. So these people have no land. They are, you could say, the intruders, Abraham and Lot. And Abraham is one of the Chabira, one of the Hebrews. And here are his allies, Eshcol, Aner, and Mamre. So Abraham calls them and says, when Abraham heard that his brother was taken captive, he armed his men, the trained men who were born in his household, and all of a sudden we see the army that Abraham had under his command, 318 armed men. Abraham had a lot of stuff, a lot of sheep, a lot of cattle, and a lot of armed shepherds who were trained for self-defense. You have to have self-defense if you don't have a government to defend you. Why did the American West have armed men defending their cattle? Because there was no authority to defend them.